All right. For anybody who doesn't know, Star Wars under Disney doesn't have a good history of directors. So the directors for what was going to be another prequel trilogy, which was around the time of the Old Republic, just left Disney's project, and they're going to be pursuing a Netflix deal that they had signed. Um, and this is worrying. So for context, I don't know how many people know this, but so the director of Solo, the Star Wars story, was let go from the project. I think he was let go. No, so there were two directors for the Solo A Star Wars story, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who were fired weeks before filming was completed, and then Ron Howard finished it up, and that's whose name was on it. And then Jurassic World's director left Star Wars Episode 9, and then J.J. Abrams took over. I'm worried about all these directors leaving the project, and I'm really worried about who's going to be filling the shoes, this time around. Because I really look forward, because I don't know if you know, but there's Benoff and Weiss, I think that's how you say their name. They directors of Game of Thrones. And, Game of Thrones, Old Republic, if you know too much, not too crazy different. It's obviously different universe and such, but it's still. I don't know who they're going to get in their place, and I know I don't want J.J. Abrams because this current trilogy, kind of in his thing, isn't going too well, and so I'm really worried about what's going to happen going forward. Um, since the news just came out that the director's left, there's no real announcement just yet. There is going to be a little break, I know, through the. I don't think they have any plans for a film in 2020. Not that I'm aware of. And there was going to be like a little gap, so it was just going to be 2021. I think 2023 was the release point for the first next prequel movie of the next trilogy. But it's worrying to see what's gonna happen next. Um, are they gonna do a prequel trilogy? Are they going to use the Old Republic ideas we already have? What's Disney gonna do, and why can't they A, keep directors, and B, stick with directors? This is worrying going forward because I think we need good directing and storytelling to just direct a trilogy. You know, when we're switching directors, we're switching writers in between movies. You have what you have with the seventh movie and then the eighth movie, and definitely not what people expected or saw coming. And from what little I've seen, it wasn't what was really intended with the eighth movie. But J.J. Abrams wanted to step away. I think Disney need to latch on to somebody to at least have a set story through. You know, don't really want to see any kind of what I saw in the eighth movie, which was world breaking and not enjoyable to watch. You know, thinking back to the see, movies are great because you remember them. I remember the prequels. I remember moments through the prequels in the original trilogy. Now we're in the sequel trilogy, and think about memorable moments. You have a memorable moment in the first movie. You have Kylo Ren stopping a blaster bolt. That was cool as fuck. That was awesome. You have that big fight on when what's his face, Poe? Wait, no, Finn. When Finn was about to leave, yeah, Finn. When Finn was about to leave, and Rey was gonna go their separate ways, and Rey was gonna go back to Jakku, and then the First Order came in. That fight scene where Poe comes in and the Resistance is there and fighting, that's a cool scene. I'm trying to think if I remember any more memorable ones. Han Solo's death. obviously, and that weird ending where Leia doesn't hug Chewie. I don't really get why Chewie got snubbed for Rey. I get the point. Doesn't really make sense. Chewie's been with him for a long time. That was no. Then we go into the eighth movie. Think about memorable moments. You think? What do you think? The bomber scene was cool. Made me think about old war movies, but it doesn't really. It's doesn't make sense. Why do bombs fall in space? Uh, Mom came into the room. I'm getting a chicken patty. Anywho, I'm gonna keep rolling because it's a rant and I have to live with it. So I don't even know. Oh, eighth movie start bomber scene. Next memorable scene is the eighth movie felt like an older war movie. Right? It didn't feel like Star Wars. Like if I think old war movies, the eighth movie has a lot of similarities, but Star Wars, not so much. Um, there's those weird scenes where they're running through the city. That gambling city, and they're looking for the guy with the thing on his shirt. They find the other guy, and then he ends up betraying them. The cool scene when they have Captain Phasma there and they're fighting. Captain Phasma still died. I didn't want Captain Phasma to die. Captain Phasma was supposed to be like a secondary protagonist or antagonist. Like she was supposed to be like a good example. Like the Jango Fett to Count Dooku. She seems like the main protagonist, and then there's this bigger guy, and then Kylo Ren comes up. But they played it like Kylo Ren was the secondary protagonist, and then Snoke was the big uh, antagonist. I don't know, keep saying protagonist, antagonist, and I think Captain Phasma being the secondary antagonist to Kylo Ren makes them both better characters because you have this big bad Captain Phasma who should be more of a badass, and somehow, first of all, she somehow got away from the Starkiller base exploding. That's a story. And then she probably maybe dies in N8. It was a little disappointing the way she went out. Could they bring her back? They brought her back from the trash chute in blowing up Starkiller base. I mean, they could. It wouldn't be crazy. I mean, it's what it is. And then, you know, what's memorable, we find out, what happened with Kylo Ren and Luke, and it was really disappointing to see Luke. And I think the whole reason that kind of happened the way it did is because J.J. Abrams had a different idea of what was going to happen with Luke and Kylo and the Knights of Ren than what the guy who directed the 8th movie did. Because what happened with the Knights of Ren in the 8th movie? Absolutely nothing. They were just gone. They disappeared. It doesn't even make sense about where they would be, right? So they weren't on Starkiller Base. Okay, they weren't with Kylo at all, so they had to be off doing something. Then in the 8th movie, when Kylo overthrows Snoke, they're not there. Where are the Knights of Ren? Hopefully going to show up in the 9th movie. We've seen them talked about. We've seen them in, official books. Where are they? They seem like a cool concept. I want to see them. And I hope that J.J. Abrams does something with that. I'm not looking forward to J.J. Abrams' classic J.J. Abrams surprise or twists. He's known for that, and like in the first in 7, the twist was that it was actually Rey who was the Jedi. Because I don't know if you remember, because it was a while ago, but all the trailers had Finn holding the lightsaber, and it was gonna be a black Jedi, which everyone loved, and then it was a woman Jedi, which everybody loved, and I didn't really care it was a Jedi, but just there doesn't need to be a fantastic twist. What was the twist in episode 6? Darth Vader turning to the light side and killing Palpatine. Was that something crazy to think of? Not really. It was a little, you kind of knew it was coming. You knew Luke was going to win because it's the movie and the good guys win. And how's he going to win? You're not quite sure. Darth Vader going to turn? It's a very real possibility. And that's what happened. Think about the prequel trilogy. What's the big twist? Anakin turns to the dark side. Palpatine's the Sith Lord. And then there's the things Anakin does. And that's the big twist. And then Anakin kills Padme and blah, 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 blah. Big twists are twists. But they're big plot twists. They're not surprising twists. You can have plot twists without them being surprising. Like a twist. It's a twist in the story. So Anakin, the Chosen One, killing all the Jedi is a twist. Is it a twist we saw coming? Yes, we knew it was going to happen. The twist of Darth Vader turning against Palpatine, is that a crazy twist in the story? Absolutely. For the viewer? Not really, Darth Vader being Luke's son, that was a surprising twist, for the viewer and for the story. But it works. So going into this next movie, I don't know. And then going into the whatever they're gonna do for the prequel, if they still want to do that, what are the directors gonna do? Because Star Wars, now that I think about it, has a good little amount of plot twists. But it's interesting to see what's gonna happen, and I'm kind of worried about it because Disney doesn't really have my faith in them right now. But yeah, that's why I'm worried. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my next video. I just wanted to talk about this because I saw it happen the other day. It was on IGN. Yeah, Star Wars Episode 9's a month away. The Mandalorian comes out in 2 weeks. That'll be fun to see. But until then, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.